After the test defeat to South Africa in the first test match, former West Indies captain Jason Holder called for more tests to be allocated to the West Indies. I decided to take a look at this and how feasible it is. Now, mark you, Jason Holder's comment was to spin us and to trick us. Jason Holder, he knew that his performances does not guarantee him a place in the test team, and he was trying to push the blame somewhere else for the reason why he's performing so poorly in test cricket. Simply put, Jason Holder was trying to spin us. He was simply trying to tell us that if I was playing more test cricket, my performances would be better. And the reason why I'm not performing is because of lack of test cricket. Jason Holder was trying to shift the blame from himself to the number of test matches that the West Indies was playing. Once again, another West Indies player tried to spin us. The beloved Holder. Jason Holder is well loved all over the Caribbean and in the world of cricket. He is a likable guy. But on this occasion, I think he was playing mind game with us, trying to put the blame on the lack of test cricket. I look at Jason Holder last 12 test matches since he played his 50th test match in August 2021. On that occasion was the last time he scored a test half century. And so I look at his performance from then. And in that time, Jason Holder playing 12 test matches between his last test 50, which was his 50th test match. He had scored 283 runs in 12 test match at an average of 13. Why is it then he's always in the test team? And during that time, he has only taken 22 wickets. So Holder is taking less than 2 wickets per test match and is averaging less than 13, and he's still in the test team. When you look at his ODI matches during that same time, he has only played 13 ODI matches, 12 test matches and 13 ODI match. Yet still, in his comment, he did not say that they need to play more ODI match, although he had only played one extra ODI match over that time. During that time, he has made only 205 runs in ODI cricket, averaging just a little bit better than in Test, 18.64. During that time also, he has taken only 14 wickets in 13 ODI match. 14 wickets in 13 ODI match. That's just above 1.08 wickets per match. And mark you, 7 of those wickets have came in the last 3 matches. 7 of those ODI wickets. I looked at his T20 records over the last 13 matches. Over the last 13 matches, his highest score in 13 T20 matches have been 38. And that just only came against Scotland, an associate member at the World Cup. During that time, he took 17 T20 wickets in 13 T20 matches. That, on the face of it, is not bad. Because whenever you're getting at least 1.5 or 1 wickets, over 1 wickets per match in T20 cricket, that is good. So on the face of it, it is not bad. But mark you, 11 of those wickets comes in only 3 matches. 12 of those 7 wickets comes in only 3 matches. So for the other 10 matches, he has only picked up 5 wickets. So Jason Holder, when he's saying that they are not playing enough test cricket, that's why his performance is so poor. That's what he was trying to tell us now. If we were playing more test cricket, my performances would be better. So what about your T20 performances? Why is it not better? Why is your ODI performances not better? So that is why I'm saying that Jason Ola is trying to shift blame from his poor performance in Test cricket to the lack of Test cricket that West Indies is playing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Please slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Now, I want everyone in this community to remember this date, March 15 to 19, 1877. March 15th to 19th, 1877 was the day the first test match was played at Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia, with Australia beating England by 45 runs, or somewhere just 40 odd runs. So 1877 was the date of the first test match in cricket history. It was played between England and Australia at the Melbourne Cricket Ground from March 15th to 19th, and Australia winning. After that first test match, we saw in 1889 the inclusion of South Africa among the test playing nation. It wasn't until 39 years later, in 1928, that the West Indies became the fourth test playing nation. And by the time I was born and started listening cricket, there was 6 test playing nations, because New Zealand and India and Pakistan had joined 7. So 7 test playing nations by the time that I realized the game of cricket. Since then, we have seen the addition of Sri Lanka and Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, Ireland, and Afghanistan recently. In the past, there was no clear way of how ones qualify to play test cricket. You can recall, because we were all conscious of it, and you may recall the furor over Bangladesh to be admitted to test cricket status after they beat India in 2000 in the World Cup. So finally, Bangladesh was admitted to test status because of pressure. In 2017, Ireland and Afghanistan was made full test member playing nation. However, since then, there's a format that the ICC have developed for future test playing nation. In what they no, where this, I think I blocked out there. Don't give me the trouble. I'm back. Am I live? Yes, it appears that I'm live. The Jamaican and the Guyanese are always talking about going it alone. Now, say Guyana wants to go it alone. South America, I think, is a continent. If I get that right, I think South America is a continent. Now, Guyana, and I do not want Guyana to go it alone. I want them to remain a member of the West Indies. But I'm just putting the hypothetical forward. So Guyana wants to go it alone. Now, Guyana would have to win the South American group. They would have to beat teams like Argentina, Belize, and those teams that are in South America, Brazil, and so on, beat them. And then they play off with the other continental champions. The winner of that intercontinental tournament, where all the continental champions play, they will play against either Ireland or Afghanistan in a home and away first-class match over 5 days. If they win those 2 matches, they become a test playing nation. Now, it isn't about elimination, it is about inclusivity. So once you become a test play nation, you'll remain a test play nation. It doesn't mean that Afghanistan or Ireland would drop out. It means that the winner of the intercontinental tournament, once they beat the lowest ranking test team, they now become a test playing nation. So we have seen over the years the number of test teams being developed and becoming more and more. By that, due to that happening, it is now becoming harder and harder for us to continue to have these 5 test match series among all test playing nations. Now, from indications, it appears that the top nations in test cricket will play against each other more and more and more. And it will not be surprising that after time you will have a zone A in test cricket and a zone B or a group 1 or a group B, however they want to make the division. In other words, I'm saying that after a while you may have division in test cricket. And you may have the 8 top team in Division 1 and they will play test cricket among each other. And you probably have 8 teams in Division 2 and they will play test cricket among each other. And then you probably have an elimination and a promotion within the test group. Maybe that's where it is going. Because we are seeing where more and more teams are getting test status. And if we should have 20 teams getting test status, it would be hard for everybody to compete against each other. Now, will the West Indies ever play more test matches? I look at the Future Tours program for 2023 to 2027. And there it is on your screen. As you see here, England and Australia will play the most test matches during cycle. England will play over 43 test matches, while Australia will play 40. But we are concerned about the West Indies. If you look there, West Indies is going to play, it's the second from bottom, above Zimbabwe, because we are double. They list this order in alphabetical order. West Indies, between 2023 and 2027, will only be playing 26 test matches. They'll be playing 48 ODIs during that time and a whopping 73 T20s during that time. Making it, during that time, we'll be playing 147 international matches. Almost half of them, because 26 and 48 is 74. And we are playing 73 T20 internationals. So almost half of the number of international matches that we will be playing. I will let it remain on the screen a little longer for you to get a better understanding. Almost half of the number of matches that we will be playing in this cycle will be T20 international matches. Now, let's look at it this way. I want to look at it this way. These matches will be played over a 4-year span. And I look at it and I say 4 multiplied by 52 equals 208. 4 multiplied by 52 equal 208 weeks. Now, during that 4-year period, because I'm trying to see if West Indies can play more test match. During that 4-year period, we will have 2 T20 World Cups and we will have 2 ODI World Cups plus a Champion Leagues. So let's say 1 month for each of those tournaments. So that's 5 months. 5 fours, 20. So I'm saying 5 fours is 20. And if you put a week for traveling and practice matches and so on, you will have 25 weeks taken away from the 208 weeks. 25 weeks for ICC competition take away from the 208. You're left with 183 in that 4-year period. We know that the IPL have a clear window of 8 weeks each year. And there's talk that by next year it will move to 10 weeks. But let's leave it at the 8 weeks. 4 eighths is 32. And remember, we only have 183 weeks to play with. Take away that 32 from the 183 weeks, we are left with 151 weeks. And remember, how many international match West Indies is going to play? 147 during that time. And we're left with 151 weeks. Now, our CPL is a clear window for us in the Caribbean. And say the CPL takes up 4 weeks each month, we are then each year, we are now looking at 16 weeks. 16 weeks minimum. You could easily push it to 18 weeks because of the 60 and the women competition. So let's push that to 18 weeks. 18 from 151, we are left with 133 weeks to play 147 matches in the 4-year period. Is there really a window for us to play more test matches? Or this is just the new way of the way forward for test cricket, where countries like the West Indies will not be playing too many test matches for a long time to come because of the congested calendar? Because how I put it there, with 133 weeks to play 147 matches, and some of these matches are 5-day, Marcus, some of them are only 1-day internationals, and probably 3 of them will play in 1 week. We have to look at the fact that the other teams that we are playing with, they too will attend these World Cups. They too will have a clear window for the IPL, and they too have a clear window for their domestic competition. So clearly, that 133 weeks can easily sink to 100 weeks in the 4-year period. So it's a very congested calendar. I made the suggestion once that we may need to do away with T20 internationals or ODI internationals and only play them at World Cup. Because of the large number of T20 franchise cricket playing all over the world, maybe T20 cricket should only be franchise cricket and World Cup. And when you're going to the T20 World Cup, you pick your T20 team from the players who are playing franchise cricket all over the world. And then maybe you would have a less congested calendar. However, as it is now, the calendar is very congested. And I do not see West Indies getting more test matches for the foreseeable future. When you look at it that way, it is almost impossible unless we are going to play fewer ODI matches, and many will agree with me, play fewer T20 international matches. And then the calendar will probably open up for more test matches. Mark you, and I will tell you this, West Indies will never win the T20 World Cup unless we start playing more test matches. The next 10 T20 World Cup will be won by Australia, England, and India because they are playing more test cricket than any other nation. And you wonder what am I saying? But test cricket is different from ODI cricket. Test cricket is the pinnacle of cricket. And you learn the foundation of batting in test cricket. That's where you learn the foundation of batting. And you expand your game to the T20. Look at all those teams that are winning the T20 World Cup. The Australia, the England, the India. Look at those teams. Since we lost one in 2016, those teams are playing more test cricket than us. And that is why their T20 game is improving, because they are playing more test cricket than us. The other reason why West Indies may never play more test cricket is that when the Futures Tour program is being negotiated, it is not the ICC that set up the Future Tours program unilaterally. These Future Tours programs are negotiated by each of the 12 full members that you saw on the screen there. Each of the 12 full members negotiate their tour, and then the ICC put it in a calendar so there's no conflict. So it's not the ICC goes up and unilaterally set a schedule. Now, one of the challenges that you may say, why is it that we are only playing 2 test matches against countries like Australia and South Africa? The truth is, if you look at the West Indies players' uniform, you will see no sponsors on it. It therefore means at this moment, and we hope it changes quickly, West Indies cricket is not an attractive brand to sponsor us. And really hosting the West Indies cricket team, if the series is longer than 2 matches, you are going to lose money. That's the reality of it. So the next reality, if we really want to play more test cricket, we have to improve the quality of the brand. We have to improve the product, which is the cricket itself. Without the cricket improving, without us start beating South Africa and Australia and England and India, we are not going to get more than 2 match series, because at the end of the day, it's economics. Look at Australia. Australia have inked a over $1 billion US deal for 7 years with 2 media companies, Foxtel and Sevens. These media companies will be broadcasting all the cricket in Australia, the domestic cricket and the international cricket, and the Big Bash for the next 7 years in Australia, not outside of Australia. They do not have the rights to show it outside of Australia. They only have the rights to show it in Australia. And that worth $1 billion US over the next 7 years. Now, Seven Sports recently dropped a lawsuit against Cricket Australia because they have sued Cricket Australia for the quality of the Big Bash League. They do not think that the quality of the Big Bash League was of the desired standard. And as broadcasters, they were saying what they were showing on their TV screen was not of the quality of which they had paid for. However, this new deal, when this new deal was being negotiated, part of the negotiation was that they would drop that lawsuit against Australia. Cricket Australia, on their part, decided to cut the number of Big Bash cricket matches that is being played each year. So next year, you will see a shorter Big Bash tournament. So Cricket Australia negotiated this deal. Also, Cricket Australia negotiated a deal with Disney Star out of India. So all test matches, all the Big Bash League matches, men and women, all international cricket that is played in Australia, Disney Star will be showing it in India. And Cricket Australia will be getting $400 million from Disney Star over 7 years to show the cricket. If West Indies cricket is not attractive enough, and after 1 and 2 matches, the number of persons visiting the grounds to watch these matches, the number of spectators watching these matches, and you have an empty stands, it will not be attractive for Cricket Australia to show it. So this is another reason why it's almost impossible for us to get more than 2 test matches. Unless we become competitive, unless the product is good for viewership, because media houses are spending enormous amount of money to these cricket associations all over the world to broadcast their product. If the West Indies product is not good, we are not going to play more test matches. Please slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe and you will click only once. Sunil Singh, good morning. Last 5 years, they have hardly changed their squad. Most of the players are same. They don't bring young players. And this could be one of the reasons. This could be one of the reasons why the product is not great. But sometimes though, I am one of the persons who bash Cricket West Indies the most. You know that I call a spade a spade. And there are times when Cricket West Indies have done things right. These younger players, 90 of them throughout the Caribbean, each month they get paid. Whether they play cricket or not, they get paid. When they play in like the regional Super 50 tournament or the regional 4-day tournament, they get a match fee. But every month, whether they play a game or not, they get a retainer. And this retainer for some of the players are up to more than 2,000 US dollars per match. This does not include the players who are on West Indies retainers. It is a 90 players, 15 of them retain in each country, each regional board. So you have 15 in Jamaica, 15 in Guyana, 15 in the Windward Islands, and so on. These players are getting anywhere between $1,600 US dollars, $1,532, and above $2,000 every month. My question to these players, and I also know that Cricket West Indies send them programs, fitness programs, and they have access to the West Indies coaches in this territory. With these players being paid an handsome sum, because not many purses in the Caribbean, less than 25% of the purses in the Caribbean is being paid the amount of money that these guys are being paid monthly. Why is it they are not taking responsibility for their own game? Why are they not training? Why are they not following the program that Cricket West Indies sent to them? Why are they not calling up the coaches in the region and asking them to have one-on-one session? Yes, there should be more A-team tours. Yes, there should be a longer regional 4-day tournament. Yes. But where is the responsibility of the players? It is time the players who are being paid to train and to work hard on the game start putting in the effort. Cricket West Indies should be blamed. Cricket West Indies have a lot to be blamed about. But there's also the responsibility of the young players to take the responsibility and train, because they are being paid to train and they are being paid handsomely to train. See by the language of Chase, he looks tired and lazy. That's why we need young, energetic, who can think beyond boundary. I noticed that with Chase, Sunil. Thank you for pointing it out. I noticed it with Chase in particular. And you can look at it because he will be playing. Unless there's an injury to Chase, Chase will be playing in the second test. I'm asking this community to look at Chase. Look at his body language. It is not good. I always look at it. I always saw it. Thank you for bringing it up, Sunil. It's something that I always looked at, and I should have brought it up before. But thank you, Sunil, for bringing it to me. Well done. His body language is terrible. Merrick, this is why I always tune into the forum. Very informative. Where is the correct thing are being said? Thank you, Merrick. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I tried my best. Optep Radio. Good morning. Early live, I see. Yes, Optep Radio. I have a very busy day today, and I'm trying to do this live before I touch the road. West Indies cricket have to do things right. Too much West Indies friendship in cricket. Dylan John, I know, and I know that you have experienced this. There's bias, there's favoritism, and I know you have experienced this. And we must blame West Indies cricket. We must be critical of West Indies cricket where they are falling short. But as I said, there's also a responsibility for the players to themselves. The players must take on some of the responsibilities. These players are being paid handsomely. How much of them, just for argument's sake, and I'm not nitpicking here, but just a question randomly. How much of the batsmen, how much of them have invested in, say, a bowling machine? The WICB, which means the Windward Cricket Board, the Windward Islands Cricket Board, the Windward Islands Cricket Board. I know that the Jamaica Cricket Association, they have bowling machines at Sabina Park. And that is good. But how many of these players invest, for example, in a bowling machine for themselves? A bowling machine probably costs $1,000 to be shipped. You purchase it in probably Australia or India, and buying it and shipping it will not exceed $1,000. How many of them invest, for example, in a bowling machine? While these machines may be at the headquarters, as I said, I know that there are either 2 or 3 machines at Sabina Park, but how many of them invest in an individual bowling machine for themselves? I just use bowling machine to say how many of them are invest in the equipment that they need to improve themselves. Because at some time the responsibility is on the player. Cricket West Indies should be blamed for a number of things. And there are a number of things that Cricket West Indies should do better and can do better. But there are also a number of things that these players can do better and be more serious about. Good morning. Chase body language has changed because it is lacking in confidence. That could be true, but at this time, it is not good. It is not good. Good morning, how are you? Welcome to the show. Breaker Environment, they need to do like the NFL and payment and performance. You don't perform, deduct your money. I've heard a number of persons saying that, but does the law in the Caribbean allow it, Breaker Environment? You're a lawyer. Please tell me, please do some research and tell me, does the labor law in the Caribbean allow you to deduct certain amount of money from a player's salary? So I'm not quite sure that our labor law allows it. But do you know that when they win a test series, they get extra money for winning a test series? They get extra money for winning an ODI series. They get extra money for winning a T20 series. There is an incentive program, but the deduction of one's money from one's salary, I'm just asking, does the labor law in Jamaica and the other Caribbean country that allows it? CWI receive a financial handout from the ICC every year, so there's no incentive to change anything. John P. Nicol, that incentive, that money that CWI gets from the ICC every month, every year, it is 1.2 million per month presently. Next year, my calculation is that it will goes up to 4 million per month. But right now, it is 1.2 million. I believe it is 1.3, but Forbes magazine is saying it's 1.2. But since Forbes magazine are the expert in this area, let's go with Forbes magazine, 1.2. It is estimated that almost half of that 1.2 money, 1.2 million that they get each year, almost half each month, almost half of the $1.2 million that they get each month, half of it, which is 600,000 US dollars, goes to the 6 regional boards. Each one of them receive $100,000 out of it each month. That is my understanding. Now, is that enough money to sustain and develop cricket? Then we will probably need to do another research in that. But yes, John P. Nicol, you are right. The ICC allocates to the Cricket West Indies $1.2 million each month, which in my calculation, it will rise to $4 million come January 2024. Breaker Environment, how you digest 7 goals Liverpool give Breaker Environment. Relax, my friend. You are my friend. Relax. Just relax. Forget it. Why you bring up that? You spoil my day. I thought you and I were friends. You immediately spoil my day. And I thought you and I were friends, Breaker Environment. Don't do that to me, sir. Please. Yeah, I don't think the players really care that much about the cricket they play. Sure, but they are not in this really. It is true. Where does the good morning? That's a very good suggestion about T20 and one day competition. You said that individual nations negotiate their own test tour. You makes the T20 and ODI schedule. Who makes the T20? No, no. It's they negotiate. They negotiated it. I apologize, Fern Jacobs, and I know that you raised this matter in the comment section, and that's why I maybe did not answer you in the comment section because I planned to deal with it in a live show. And I know so you raised the question and you made some very good points there. It is the same for the T20 and the ODI schedule. Individual nations, they negotiate these tours. Mark you, they are mandatory to tour, but the length of the tour is negotiated by the individual nations. Thank you for it. Please remember, slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Lara will not play again, and we don't need Lara either. We need proper combination, energetic fielder like New Zealand have. I was very impressed with the New Zealand team when they toured the West Indies last year. Anyone who watched that New Zealand team, when you watch it, to watch them on the field, to be present at the match and to watch them or the move, is that you do not get that on television. That is why you need to go and watch these international teams when they are visiting the Caribbean. And you will see the gulf between how West Indies operates and how these teams operate. It's a big gulf. Did you see South Africa just released their T20 squad to face us? I saw it, but I have not look at it at yet, Imran Hussein. I saw it, but I will take a closer look at it. Because I was concentrating to do this show, and I have a very, very busy Monday, I did not look at the squad in detail. I just glimpsed at it. But we can beat that squad. We can beat that squad. If the board is a joke, the players will take cricket for a joke. That is true, Dylan. And I've said it a long time. Because right now, in this test team, there's no doubt where the power is. Craig Brathwaite. Craig Brathwaite has the power in this team. Average batting and average bowling can be compensated by extraordinary fielding. So, you know that Sunil Singh has been watching cricket a long time. Because Sunil Singh, remember, when New Zealand was an ordinary team, but they were electrifying in the field. Teams, to show that you have a coach working, look our team field. Fielding is one of the easiest things to be trained. No matter what age you are, it is easy to improve your fielding. You're right on Sunil Singh. Very good point. That is one of the things that West Indies need to happen. What is going to happen to Devon Thomas? Well, clearly you're a Devon Thomas fan. And in my opinion, he should play in the second test. I think he should play in the second test. He should bat at number 6. Yeah, once you sign to a contract, you have to honor it. But what they offer is central contract. What they need to offer is performance contract to allow them to pay on performance. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point to make. And I think I did a show about that, Breaker Benjamin, but that's a very good point. I just remember now the video that I did. Very good point, Breaker Benjamin, as usual. Because I love this game, watching this game from a young age. I wanted to be a cricketer. And I'm sad that players today do not care this much about the game and representing a proud cricketing nations. Yes, we are a very proud cricketing nations, and it seems to us that some of these players are not playing with the pride. Thank you all for tuning in today. Please slash a like on the video. Please slash a like on the video. Click on that subscribe button. You click only once and it is free to click. I hope that this show had benefit you. I hope that you have learned. and realize why West Indies will not be able to play more test cricket. Thank you, champion. Have a great day. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved one, and see you later.